Up next on Inside ChampCar, racing with a rookie. Up next. Welcome to Inside ChampCar. I am Brian Bielanski, the good-looking guy in the red shirt. That's Bill Strong. How you doing, Bill?
I'm sitting a little lower tonight. What's
you
up
are.
with that?
I don't know.
Yeah, wait. Let me fix that. There we go.
It's like going to Catholic church, Bill. Sit up, Bill.
Yeah.
Sit up straight, man.
Pretty much, yes. Show my sailing shirt off from a couple of years ago.
That's
so what's up, Brian?
Well, I'm just thinking your posture's bad because you had to spend an extra 3 hours in the car trying to get home from Thompson.
Oh, Jesus. The not just that, it's like 7 hours just getting to Thompson.
Yeah.
And I don't tell you how many tolls I got. Oh, my goodness.
I hear
Did I just say goodness? Yeah.
You did.
Yeah, the tolls were insane. I will never go that way through New York again.
All right.
Coming back was great. We just had a little bit of hiccup.
A little
on
detour.
on Interstate 81, but it's all right. I got to sit and think for a while.
Oh,
like
did it hurt?
Minutes, yeah.
Did it hurt?
To think?
Yeah.
When I'm in a tiny car like that, yeah, my head doesn't fit well in that thing.
The guy
Brian,
in the big box.
Yeah.
CampTeague is with us. Camp, welcome.
How's it going?
He's sitting there going, what are these guys, these old guys talking about having bad posture and, oh, my gosh. How you doing, Camp?
Doing all right. Happy to be here.
Very cool.
So, Camp, you, just a few weeks ago, it seemed like you were probably still in high school and, then you went off to college. Now you're going to college or university and you're working at Harbor Freight and doing stuff like that recently. And then you decided to go racing, but, let's start off.
Like, Bill, don't do it, Bill. Step away from the ledge, Bill.
How did you get interested in cars, and what gave you the idea to come to your first race at the Lifeline VIR 24?
Yeah, so I don't come from a family that loves cars at all by any means. I am kind of the black sheep in our family and just in that. But yeah, just coming from a small town in Mississippi, I've always just loved things with motors and just it wasn't cars initially. I loved tractors as a kid growing up, and then my family took me to Cars, see the movie Cars. That was the first movie I ever saw in theaters, and it hooked me from that moment. And ever since then, I've just been infatuated with cars. And it wasn't until I moved here to North Carolina where my parents made some friends who were really into Porsches. And once I met those guys, we started traveling with them to tracks, whether it was VIR, Atlanta, AMP, CMP, just any of the local tracks around the North Carolina area, that I really got to see what motorsports was about. So just watching that growing up and just being a fan overall is just how I was in motorsports. And then coming into ChampCar is interesting. I currently work for Ford Performance Racing School, and those guys have been a massive help to me and kind of guiding me in the directions I need to be going. But I actually contacted this guy named Kyle Lockrow. And so I met him down at CMP, and I got to watch him race with Brew Crew and just see how ChampCar as a organization functions and just learn about it. And I just was drawn in and just wanted to be a part of it. So Kyle kind of took me under his wing and started teaching me what to be doing, who I needed to talk to. And so I just joined this group on Facebook, like ChampCar Swap Meet or something like that. And I actually just threw out like, hey, I'm looking to be on a team. I'd like to drive. I'd like to just introduce myself and meet you guys. And so that's how I ended up at the 24 hours. I met just off of Facebook. Yeah.
And Kyle just says, and the rest was downhill from there.
All right, before we go any farther, we got to go back, got to rewind. Cars. What's your favorite character?
Oh my gosh, it has to be Lightning McQueen. I would run around our house saying ka-chow all the time, you know?
It's got to be Tow Mater.
Not even Mater, man. I was always the race car guy.
All right.
No, mine was the Italian forklift dude with all those little buddies.
Exactly.
The garage guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That's one of my favorite movies of all
well,
time.
That and the Ricer, the the little cars with all the wings.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
think you say racer, but
I don't
yeah.
think we're supposed to say that.
Yeah, sorry. I forget, what year it is. Yeah.
We've just been removed from YouTube for some sort of
Yeah.
violation.
I said that term on the forum a couple
God.
years ago and got yelled at massively. I'm like, what? Just 3 years ago we could use it.
All right, so it's not like you took an easy race to take as your first one. You jump right in to the Lifeline 24-hour at VIR.
The hardest race of the year.
Yeah, I mean, it's. Did you think about maybe doing a different event first?
Yeah, no. Honestly, it was just kind of first come, first serve. I was like, oh, this is the one coming up. Well, might as well. I didn't even really think of myself jumping into the deep end until I got there and just realized how rigorous this race was. But I saw that one was the next one coming up, and I jumped at the opportunity. As all of us would. So
So how long ago did you decide to do this? Was it a month ago, 2 months ago? How long was the lead up to it?
ChampCar specifically,
No,
or
the
24
24 hour.
The 24 hours coming up to the race, it was probably like 2 weeks.
Oh, so you didn't have a lot of time to prepare.
Yeah, not a ton of time.
Did you have all of like your driver gear already, or is that all stuff you had to put together in the 2 weeks?
Yeah, I had all the driver gear because, I knew this is something I've wanted to do my entire life. So I was prepared. I was completely. One thing I didn't prepare for was a cool suit. I didn't know how like vital having one of those are.
Right.
But yeah, I was prepared in terms of gear.
Cool. And so was there a coaching from the team to get you prepared for it? What was the advice from the team going in?
Well, the advice of the team was just to take care of the car first off.
Don't crash.
Most important thing. If we keep the car together and we can finish the race, that's the number one goal. But yeah, just stay within your limits and protect the car within those limits. And that's how we're gonna finish this race, kind of thing. So yeah, that was kind of the main objective from the team.
What kind of car was that?
It was a Crown Vic.
And that thing was older than you are, isn't it?
It's older than I am. Yeah.
Yeah. So a Crown Vic, it's not like you were out there in like a little girly Miata or one of those sissy boy E30s. You were in a man car.
I was in a boat.
Yeah. So you just tap a bumper on one of those and, they start falling apart left and right. But the big guy, man, that's a car to go in, actually.
Well, that Crown Vic had a back seat in it that you could end up being married after spending a little time back there. So
it's a big car. So how did that feel driving? Because I'm willing to bet you don't drive a Crown Vic as a daily driver.
I do not. I actually drive a Tacoma, so it's actually
about the same size.
Yeah, about the same size.
It's not as wide. It's not as wide.
Right?
Maybe the length, but not as wide.
No, believe it or not, the car, I mean, obviously I don't know the difference between any other cars, but it felt incredibly planted. It didn't feel like it was super rolly. It felt amazing on track.
Wait a second. I'm being told that you were actually faster than me on track.
Well, that doesn't take much. That's a low bar.
A 2:26 at VIR.
And what was your times, Bill?
30 something.
What'd you say, Bill? Should I turn up your
microphone?
It wasn't
a 2:26. I'm pretty certain.
So did you have any track experience before doing the 24-hour at all?
I've been on track, but not driving really fast.
What track had you been on VIR?
Yeah, so being school a little bit further north, I was pretty much most weekends.
So, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And how
you've been there and you've done some HPDEs there.
I just ride-alongs and just putting around, stuff like that.
All right, so you weren't green like my son when I put him on there. Never been on that track ever.
Yeah, I'd been on it a few times before.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's good because you don't want to do what I did and just throw my son out there at the start of a race. And go out there, make a right, and you're on your own.
Do you do any sim racing?
Oh, I get in here as much as I can. Nice. Yeah, if I am not doing school or working, I am on the sim no matter where I'm going. Yep, I'm practicing. Yep.
And I'm sure you've got a lot of laps around VIR in the sim.
About as many as you can have. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I guess what is the sim equivalent? What car do you race? Do you do iRacing or what do you do?
I use R Factor.
Okay.
So,
So what car in R Factor do you get into at VIR to simulate being in a Crown Vic?
well, you know, in a sim, it's hard.
Yeah.
Our Crown Vic, I'm not exactly sure of the power figure, but it was very linear. So I get in something NA. So probably I'm looking at like an NA Miata or something like that. Something that's really slow that I can play with momentum. More than anything.
That's pretty cool. And I guess the horsepower in that Crown Vic might have been pretty close to an NA Miata, right?
It felt like it for sure.
Um, that's pretty awesome. So, what was your first stint? Did you start the race? Did you go in after a couple of stints? What was your first stint?
Yeah, I was the third stint.
Okay,
So I think I got in from 4 to 6 p.m. I think, up whereabouts. So it wasn't too hot, but it was still pretty warm. And
right.
so yeah, that's about when I was in.
So you avoided the craziness of the start, and you didn't
Yes,
have to drive into the darkness. So that was a smart move by the team manager. Let's give them
Yeah.
props for that.
very much so. Yeah.
And
On
how'd that first stint go?
it went incredibly well up until the end. There was no no mishaps, but probably about 10 minutes till the end of my stint, our wiring harness actually fell onto our exhaust header, and we cost a 35 there, so it was interesting, to say the least.
I can't imagine that ever happening, Bill. That never happened in the Opal.
No, the Opal just caught on fire,
Well,
and then
similar.
we doused it. Well, I'm sorry, everybody on pit lane doused it, and then we replaced a couple hoses, went back out. It's amazing what 1970s metal doesn't really catch on fire; it just chars.
Yeah, yeah. So you had to get a tow in, I'm guessing, right?
I did, right off of turn 1.
Okay. Oh my
It,
God. So you
oh
were
wow, that's a long
all the
way to
way
go.
around.
No,
No,
they just no, they
actually,
take you through the back.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. And how long did it take to get the car back together?
3 hours,
Okay.
give or take, yeah, yeah.
All
It
right.
took a while, but we got back out.
Awesome. Awesome. How many stints did you get to do?
Well, I was only scheduled to do 1, but I ended up doing 2, because one of our other drivers, she wasn't too feeling too great. So they said to camp, you're up, and so I hopped in and
Nice.
got to drive.
Nice. Well, I mean,
Against-
I don't know if that was a heat thing or whatever, but with the temperatures, I heard a lot of teams were having to rework their driver lineup late in the race because people weren't always feeling up to the task later in the race after trying to get through with all those hot temperatures. So, not uncommon.
Yeah, yeah, I understand that. Yeah, it was warm.
And how'd that second stint go?
Well, I was kind of in the same boat as her. After about an hour and a half, I started fading as well. Our cool suit actually went out. So that didn't really help. But um, yeah, so I ended up getting motion sickness and having to get out of the car as well. Yeah.
Hey, I'm not the only one, Bill.
No, no.
Motion sickness is a problem I've had in the race car before. It took me a couple of years to figure out, maybe not a couple of years, but definitely several weekends to figure out how to manage that for myself. And overheating is really quick for me to do that. So yeah, I feel for you on that one. So where did you guys finish up?
I believe we finished second. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
In class, yeah,
And D
second in
class,
class. Yep,
right?
yep. D class.
Cool.
Yep. Feels pretty good. Yeah.
Nice. So now that you've got time to reflect and look back, um, what would you do differently? Because this is your first event. Everyone's a first timer somewhere, and there's might be somebody watching who will be the next first timer. So what are your reflections on what you learned, what you enjoyed, what maybe you didn't enjoy, what you want to do differently next time?
Well, my first little bit of advice was take Dramamine if you get motion sickness. That's definitely the first one
So,
there. But
so did you know going in that you had motion sickness issues?
no, I
Okay.
I did. I knew like if I was riding with someone, I might get a little bit
Sure.
motion sick, but never have I been motion sick while driving. And I think a lot of it is caused by the heat.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never knew that. So Dramamine, that's that's the first step.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, make sure you're just getting enough sleep and stay hydrated. Staying hydrated is so important because you're sweating so much in the car and it's just so hot. If you don't stay hydrated, it's not going to be a good day for you. So just keep up with that and you'll be doing all right. But in terms of stuff that I didn't like, there wasn't really anything I didn't like. I'm such a racing nut. I live for this stuff. I loved every bit of it. There's nothing I would change.
What's up next? What are you going to do? Have you already figured out, circled another race on your schedule?
Well, I know this September, I'm gonna be doing lucky dog stuff for one race down at CMP. But going forwards, we're kind of doing this ABC program. So looking into a little bit of stock car racing and some other things. But with ChampCar, yeah, I want to continue with ChampCar and just kind of see where things go. Of course, the big thing is partnership and where can you find that and to continue racing because racing is definitely not the easiest thing to do in the world, right? It's not
Right.
cheap.
Bill,
Oh,
you're
it's easy. It's easy. I can put in lap after lap really slow. It's the affording it part. That's the hardest part.
Exactly. Exactly.
well, and it's easier to put lap after lap really slow than it is to put in lap after lap really fast, Bill.
Easier to drive a slow car fast than a fast
Fast
car
car slow.
slow.
That is absolutely true. And
Right.
and your team owner Bill is defending you.
Yes, I saw that.
He was
Yeah.
John Wittenauer saying you were driving very conservatively and staying out of trouble.
I don't like the very conservatively. No, he didn't say very.
No,
He
he
just
did.
said
No, I
conservatively.
I added that. I added that just to troll you a little bit.
Yeah, it was I did a 235 911. I had to do the 911 part. But
yeah, you
no, it
planned
was
that,
a
right?
235, so
Very nice.
236. Think about it. But, front wheel drive car. He had rear wheel drive, big V8.
S-
That's a
So
dominant car.
so you did the first race in what you referred to as the boat. Would you recommend someone do a race in something that it's a little off the pace ish, rather than getting into something really fast right away, or something that might be a harder car to handle?
1001%. That car being so long makes it so manageable. There was one time I got a little bit loose, but I was able to control it just because like it's not a short wheelbase snappy car that's got so much power. Definitely starting something a little bit slower that's manageable. It makes it way easier for you and the entire team just to make it through the weekend.
Absolutely. So are there other cars you would like to drive? I'm
I
trying
like
to
to
see if I
drive
can get you a
anything and
phone
everything.
call right now. That's what I'm working on, Bill. I'm working on getting him a phone call from another team who's looking to put camp in another car. See what I'm doing here?
Yep,
I'm
you
Camp's
are.
new manager.
Oh, man.
Kyle, you're being challenged.
But yeah, anything and everything. If I have the opportunity, I'm gonna get in and at least try it. I'm not scared of anything, so I'll go for it. But yeah,
See,
no,
that right there is the difference. He's not afraid. I'm
He's
afraid.
well, because he's 40 years younger than you.
Yeah, well, I'm afraid if I wrecked a Mini that, I was seriously, I was going through the S's going, I wonder what the retail value is one of these if I have to replace it, and little things like that.
Well,
Will the wheel fall off if I take this corner too hard? Because I've seen Minis lose their suspension parts.
yeah.
Or, I've experienced losing a wheel and you haven't experienced things like that yet. So you have no fear, which
I
is
have
awesome.
no. I the car held together really well, so I didn't have to worry about anything, crazy like that happening. So
Right.
yeah, no fear.
Any other than the moment with the wiring harness, any big moments out there that you got yourself caught up in? Any big
Like that
battles?
Mini on your tail trying to pass you.
um, no,
I love his laugh. Like,
nothing too
no.
crazy. Nothing too crazy that I was necessarily a part of. I know we had to, patch a tail light there, but other than that, the car was solid. It was incredibly reliable throughout. Only dealing with temperatures here and there. But yeah, that was it. Great car. Great car to start out
Did you
with.
do a night stint?
I did not. No, they were smart enough to know you can't see anything at VIR at night.
No, no.
Yeah, smart not to put me in there at night, especially for the first go at it.
I kept volunteering to drive the night stint, but John said, no, no, no. We have people for that.
Uh,
I kid. I did not. I said, no, don't put me in at night. That's scary.
No kidding. Yeah.
yeah, because if you'd gone in at night, you couldn't have spent the night with me. Well, that
That's
sounded
right.
awkward.
Well, yeah, yeah. Sure, Brian.
So now, all right. So you go back now. The race is over, or maybe while the race is going on. Did you get all your friends to jump in and watch Champ Car live and see what you were doing?
Yeah, I had a few tune in there's like, hey, especially my friends from school. Like, hey guys, check this out. I screen recorded a few clips there, and I was like, oh man, you guys got to see this. This is so cool. And hopefully we'll see more of that in the future. Them just kind of picking up and watching. But yeah,
Yeah.
they definitely were interested.
So when I started out, we didn't have YouTube.
Lights
Literally.
or wheels.
No, we had lights and wheels, but we didn't have YouTube. We didn't have a GoPro cameras. The video camera was 3 times the size of my head if
Yeah.
we wanted to put it in the car.
And it duct taped to the seat, to the passenger seat.
Exactly.
Or the roll bar. Yeah.
So when I told people I was going racing, they I had no idea what I was talking about. It wasn't a cool thing. But when you can go home and tell your buddies and your friends and your family to watch it on YouTube, it's a whole different deal. That's got to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, it's definitely cool. I think I've got a few buddies watching right now, so it's definitely a cool thing to have.
So you're in college now, right?
Yes, sir.
What are you studying? Oh, he called me Sir Bill.
I know. I would
Oh,
too.
gosh, I'm so old. Make me feel like I'm as old as Bill when you say sir, by the way. Where do you
But
where are you going to school?
I'm currently online right
Oh,
now.
okay.
Kind of getting gen ed stuff still knocked out, but my main course is to go through sports management so I could stay in the motorsports industry for as long as I can. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm going with right now.
You can
Very,
say the school.
Yeah, I'm online with Liberty, so
very cool.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
There's
been
a
great.
billion people online at Liberty, largest online school in the world.
Yeah,
Wow.
no, it really is it's a
Yeah.
great school.
I didn't know the largest online school in the world part. That's a cool fact.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So,
Yeah.
and sports management, you won't need my help then. That's good.
Yeah, no, it's a cool major for sure. I'm enjoying it. Yeah, I really am.
So you're hoping to do sports management in the motorsports world? Is that kind of the goal?
That's the goal. I'm a sports nut as well. I played football, baseball, golf growing up, so I love sports in general. Motorsports is just it's my number one thing. I love
Is
motorsports.
is is golf a sport? Right?
Oh, stop it, Bill. Don't make me don't make me. I'm going to be in your state at the end of the year or at the end of the month,
Yeah.
next month. If I have to come up there, I will. Bill
Well,
picks on me.
I just watched the golf stuff on TikTok and it just looks funny.
Oh,
But
Bill.
don't know.
Very cool.
My son tried to get me to play.
Yeah.
So
And how,
you playing golf in oh, you're down in Asheville. Oh, well, there's a ton of golf courses where you live.
yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in
Yeah.
Asheville.
Asheville. Yeah.
There's some decent one here. I enjoy playing every once in a while. I'm obviously not as good as I was back then, but
Back then.
Yeah, I like that back then. So you're from Asheville, North Carolina. That's where the founder of ChampCar is. You got to actually meet him at the VIR 24, John Condren.
it,
That must have been pretty cool.
oh
He
man,
is an old guy. He's old. He's actually old. So
no, that was an interesting experience. I was actually just down there getting a burger for lunch, and I saw him wearing an Asheville shirt. So I approached him, and come to find out, he started ChampCar.
Yep.
So that was an interesting conversation for sure.
yeah, we're gonna get him on the show here one of these days. He agreed to it.
He's a
I'm gonna
great
hold
guy.
him to it. Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Awesome.
Oh, him and I used to get into it on a lot, like not good.
Oh man.
So tell us a little bit where you're sitting at right now.
Yeah.
Currently, I am at Prescott Automotive. It's a cool little hangout area. It's a car storage facility where they store like high-end cars, and they do ceramic coating, and it's just kind of a cool place. And they have simulators where I spend a lot of my time, and there's kind of a kitchen there, so it's a great place just kind of hang out. It's just got a cool kind of feel to it that I'm sure every guy would love to just kind of hang out in, and so
Ca-
that's
Can
what I do.
can
Yeah.
you turn the camera just a little second and show us what's out that window?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind
It's
of
kind of hard
dark
to
right
see, but
now, but
There's
I don't know
lots
if
of
you can
cars down there.
that's pretty
see
cool.
there, but there is a couple Rolls Royces and a few other things
And a
down there.
Volkswagen bus.
And a Volkswagen bus. Yeah, no, that's a um I've seen it around town. I'm not exactly sure what it's
Yeah,
used for. And, you got some Aston Martins and some other cool little cars there, but
that's
yeah,
awesome.
it's an interesting, neat little place.
Yeah, we just have Hot Wheels.
That's true. That's true.
Well, it's
So,
just as good. Those are cool.
Cheaper.
eh. So, do you have some folks you want to thank before we let you go here?
Yeah, of course, I would like to thank KLR management for just giving me opportunities to do all the things that I've been doing, and of course, Alpine Star and a few other people that just kind of back me there, and of course, my family. If without them, I couldn't do any of this. They support me in everything that I do. So yeah, and I just thank you guys as well for having me on here. It's been a blast. It really has been.
How much did you
Well,
pay him, Bill?
I, yeah, yeah. You had to bring money into this.
Oh, sorry. God,
These young guys always looking for money.
wasn't supposed to
So,
tell.
yeah, I thought it would be kind of cool to get somebody on here that just has never raced before, first time out, enters the hardest race in Champ
Exactly.
Car, that we have, and I thought that was kind of cool, and you survived.
I survived. Yeah, we're still here. 5 fingers, 5 toes. We're good to
Yep.
go.
MPI, Max Pappas Innovations, and Victory Junction. They're part of your crew too.
They are. They are. Yep. They are under our kind of management thing there. They are partners with us. And yeah, it's been really fun working with them.
Awesome. Have you had a
Cool.
chance to meet Max yet?
I haven't. I haven't. Yeah.
It,
Being new to the management company, I haven't gotten a chance to meet everyone yet.
well,
But
When you meet him, don't stare at his eye.
stop.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
No, he's a great guy. You'll love talking to him when you get a chance to. So very cool.
do it.
Cool, man. Hey,
Boy,
thanks
you're
for
getting
joining
us
us.
really in trouble this week, Bill. We're gonna let Camp go before we get him into trouble. So,
Yeah.
Camp, thanks a bunch. Look forward to seeing you out at your next race.
Thank you guys.
All right, when we come back, we're gonna have a whole lot more. But first, we've got Victory Circle interviews from Thompson. This is the overall and the F class. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Down here with the Indian Performance Thompson 12-hour winners, Fuse 15. Hell of a race, man. That was back and forth between you and Visceral.
Yeah, definitely. They have a fast car. We got a little lucky. They had some issues. Seems to be what happens in an endurance race, though. So our car held up.
You guys had a little mistake there towards the end. Almost took you out.
Yeah, I suck. Yep.
What happened?
I came.
I saw it out of the corner of my eyes.
I came in a corner a little hot, and me and the car next to us went wheel to wheel, broke our wheel, messed their car up pretty good. So feel sorry for them. It ended their race. Luckily, they got most of the day. It was the last hour, but poor decision on my part late in the race. A lot of time in the car, and just a bad choice.
So you finished it up. Fun time out
I
there?
did finish it up after his accident. We had a 5-minute penalty that we had to make up, so we made it up, and then we just slowed down at the end and coasted home.
Visceral having to pit at the end, that helped you out?
Yes, we knew that they came out 2 minutes too early, so we had that in our back pocket.
All right, so what was it like for you out there?
Terrible.
So you were a crew all day, right?
No. I drove. It was just I was costing us the race, so I did not take my second stint, and they took it. And team decision, get a team win. You know.
You guys going to go to, where do you go up here? Disneyland? No. Canada?
We're going to work.
Pretty much. Yep.
So tell us about Fuse 15.
So this was a race team I started with some friends about 7 years ago. everybody kind of left. I found these two guys, and they helped me do everything on the car. We put some aerodynamic work into it and, put some time and money into it, and it's really kind of worked itself out. It's a pretty cheap car we bought for $500. It was parked behind somebody's garage with a cage in it that used to be a ChampCar 15 years ago. It's actually the first car Mike Coleman ever drove, and it's working out.
What made us fast, I think, is ChampCar, allowing us to race at these events and get some seat time and get faster and faster. The car is pretty basic. It's a basic Miata build, but seat time, that's all it is.
Well, I'll let you guys go because, all these people looking over your car, looking over and everything.
Thanks, Bill.
All right, guys, congrats.
Later, Bill. Thank you.
Down here with our F-Class winners here at the NBM Performance Thompson 12-hour. A lot to say there. We're here with the Boston Whiners, longtime champ, Lemons racers, and F-Class winners, man. That's like top shelf there.
Finally. This is the first time this thing has ever won anything, so we're very proud of this.
No way.
It is. It's true. 7 years of racing with this car and first one. So
you brought like 8 cars with you, didn't you?
Yeah, so we're a 3-car BMW team. We have 2 E46s, one in C-Class, one in EC. Really proud of the team, actually. The C-Class one finished in 4th, which is a great result for that car. The EC car, died. But, this one finished as well, so 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Cool. Now, did you throw all your drivers in, or was it just a dedicated ex-Formula One guys, right?
Yeah, I wish. So, 4 arrive and drive guys, actually, that have been with us for a very long time. We got Joe, we got Jay, we got John, and Jim.
So. And they didn't expect to win, right?
Well.
Did you guys expect to win?
Of course. Yeah, of course. There you go. As the guy that does the wrenching on the car, I didn't expect the finish.
But you don't tell your arrive and drives that, right? No, you're going to win. You're going to win.
Bulletproof car, bulletproof.
All right, guys, congrats.
Thank you very much.
Welcome back to Inside Champ Car. Brian Bielanski, Bill Strong. I love that.
Fuse 15 is pretty cool, but I had to have the Boston Whiners on there. We've been racing with them since the beginning of time. They finally get to win a race. It's an F-Class car. I think they won it last year, too. They won a race last year, but they got DQ'd or moved back because they had a part on it that put them over some money. But I think that was them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was actually a well-prepped car, well-prepped team. They know what they're doing. But I found it funny that they had all these arrive and drive guys. They thought they were going to win, and the owner thinks, "Oh shit, I don't even know if it's going to finish."
That's awesome. Oh, note to self: don't say that again out loud.
Yeah, it's funny.
So sound like
Probably
you guys
got a
had a
lineup
good
of
time.
cars. Yeah, we did. It was the Thompson track is a really fun track to drive on. It looks simple, but it's not. As we saw, we had a huge wreck on the front straight. Car rolled over 4 to 5 times. If you haven't seen the video on YouTube and the socials, and it's out there.
Wow.
We had a little coming together of 2 cars. From my point of view, kind of both, but it happens on that front straight. It's a kink, turns left, and they tended to nose to tail, and boom,
Oops.
off the track he went. Miata hit the guardrail and went over. Got a note from the track today. They're not going to charge for that guardrail because they're not going to put it back. So
Okay, well I guess that
Yeah.
solves that problem.
yeah, it's good because that was going to cost a lot of money. So
Yeah.
lucky for him. Hopefully he gets the email from Chelsea.
There you go.
Speaking of Chelsea,
Yeah.
we have some news. If you hadn't heard, ChampCar has a new leader. Mr. Dana Morrison resigned recently, and Chelsea has stepped in and kind of taken over as executive director, and she's plugging away.
Yeah.
We've been doing a lot of work trying to switch everything over and get it all working. She's got a race coming up too, which is Mid Ohio.
Sure.
Which if you're going, please check your email. Lots of important information in there. And Also, a couple of things that we've done over the past week, we did it for Thompson, was if you go to champcar.org, hashtag race, just type the hashtag key in. I think most of you guys know what that is.
Right.
The tic-tac-toe thing.
Yep.
Hashtag race. And that'll take you right down to the middle of the page, and boom, you have all of your important information for the upcoming race. Every week, once the race is over, usually on Monday or Tuesday, I will update all that information and get the get it updated for the next race coming up. So right now, all the Mid-Ohio stuff is up. We got the garage and pit lane assignments linked up this morning or this afternoon, and so that should be good to go.
Nice.
Like I said, Chelsea sent out an email with all that info for Mid-Ohio, and yeah, that's where we're at.
Very cool. Very cool. And then after that, you've got Harris Hill, the Texas
I
Grand
don't know.
Prix.
Go to Texas. Yeah, we go to Texas. That's a long trip for me, but we'll be out there.
Well,
Chelsea's
but you get
also
to go
running
home
that one
for a week, right? Between, so it's not back to back.
I don't know.
I'm looking at the
It's
calendar right under our
yeah.
little. It's under our chins. The calendar.
Yeah, I was supposed to go to Indiana Thursday, but I've asked not to attend that meeting. I'll attend it virtually. But yeah, I'm going to talk to Tire Rack, have a meeting with them, and
Very
then
nice.
yeah, it's going to be fun stuff, man. We got a lot of stuff coming up. We got a lot of races coming up. We did unfortunately we did have to cancel NOLA.
Okay.
That's in November. For those that are upset, I'm sorry, but we just didn't have enough participation by now, and if we wait, like it seems like a lot of folks are waiting till like 2 weeks out to register for these races. Well, what happens is we have a cutoff point, make or break.
Right.
And if we don't have the entries to help pay for everything, the track, the staff to get there and back. Well, we care, to get them there. We don't really care if they get back. Kidding. But all that stuff, we don't have that. We can't do the race, man. We're a nonprofit. We don't have a lot of profit, so we gotta pay for this stuff. Unfortunately,
no, and I don't know the new numbers of what it costs today to rent a racetrack, because when I was back in the day, 20 years ago, involved with more of the administrative of running races, I know that racing at racetracks would cost easily $25,000 to $50,000 a weekend to rent a racetrack. I'm guessing all of those numbers are higher now, depending on the
some
track.
of them, that's just for the move-in days on some tracks.
So it's per day, $25,000 to $50,000 per day is what I meant to say.
I mean, there's some that are cheaper, but
sure.
There's some tracks that charge you a set fee.
Right.
And then when you're done and you leave, they say, okay, here's the cost for we have to have advanced life support ambulances.
Sure.
So advanced life, so here's your cost for the ALS. Here's the cost for the flaggers. Here's the flaggers' lunches that and breakfasts and dinners we had to pay for them. Oh, and snacks, that kind of stuff. So we have to pay for that. You got to pay for the corner workers themselves sometimes.
And you have to pay for that whether there's 10 cars or whether there's 100 cars.
Yeah.
So, so I absolutely understand that there's economics involved in this thing.
Yeah.
And
then right now, travel costs are absolutely insane.
Yep.
I mean, what a $350 ticket here, like pre-COVID, is now $700 to $900, not including rental cars, which are just insane costs.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. So lots of expenses. But when we talk about this stuff, folks, the solution is to sign up for more races. Let's go racing.
Get those credit cards out. Start entering some races.
That's right. No, we're not suggesting anyone go into debt.
Oh, I am.
Okay. All right. Maybe we are. OPM, Bill. Other people's money.
Other people's money. That's how you race, man.
That's right.
Come on.
That's right.
Never use your own money. Use other people's money. And that's where it's getting hard nowadays, I think.
Yeah, I think so. So, all right. Any other excitement going on, Bill? I mean, any techie stuff that we need to learn about?
Well, I know that. Well, today I put up on Facebook and the forum, and I think tomorrow I'll send out an email to the actual paid members. To the membership. It is now time to
Oh, board
Not
members.
vote.
Board members.
Yeah, the board
Nominate.
members. Yeah, nominations. Yes. Time to nominate some board members. You've got some friends that you think would be a good board member. Let's get them nominated. All the rules are in the up on the form and in the Facebook page and in the email we'll send out tomorrow. But yeah, just time to start nominating people. Let's get them on board. I know Bernie's tried for a few years now, so maybe he'll try again too. I think Bernie would be a good guy to get on that board, but I can't favorites. Can't do that. I have to stay out of the way. But yeah, so that's coming up. We got the rule book. I was working with Chris Huggins tonight or prior to coming on here on the rule book. I got him a picture for it, which I think is pretty good.
Okay.
It's from Watkins Glen. So all kinds
nice.
of different cars in it. So that was my contribution to it. But then I have to do some artwork too. So we're a little behind schedule on the 2024 rule book. We've had a lot go on here the last couple of months, and took a while for them to sort out some of the roll cage, how we were going to show roll cages and how we were going to do certain things that we want. Same thing with, with some of the other rule changes. So not that I don't think there's that many rule changes, but it's just we're clarifying and drawing pictures for you guys.
So do you guys do rule changes, a rolling rule change throughout the year, or when the book comes out in September or October, November?
Yeah,
it's
when it comes out. Well, the book as it comes out is released in September for preview, and it does not go into effect until January 1.
Got it. Okay.
So yeah, it's not a rolling.
Okay.
It'd be kind of cool. We used to do those, but that was the one where John said it would be the same rule book for 3 years or 2 years or something like that. And of course, 6 months later, he's having to change it because people just went wild.
Yeah. Interesting.
Loopholes. They found the loopholes.
Oh, no, not loopholes. Well, the good part about doing a rolling rule book, though, is when a loophole is found, you don't have to wait 8 months to fix the loophole.
We used to kind of do that, and then the membership got all upset about that because that car they just spent 3 years building, and they finally get to the racetrack is no longer legal.
Right.
So yeah.
Right.
So they said they asked for it to be yearly. I think they yelled, "Make it yearly. Stop making changes on the fly."
All right. All right. So I'm not going to be with you next week.
No. So we have a special guest that's going to be helping me with the show.
All right.
Her name is. Let me look this up. Chelsea Vickery.
Oh.
So Chelsea and I will be interviewing Grant from MBM Performance up in Connecticut. I think
nice.
Massachusetts. Yeah, Massachusetts.
Okay.
And the name of the state I can't say. My wife makes fun of me all the time. Massachusetts. Yeah, whatever.
I have problems with Connecticut.
Connecticut. Yeah, Connecticut I get, but Massachusetts can't do it. And then we're going to talk about how to drive up to Connecticut, not to go through New York City or Washington, D.C. or anywhere else where it's $93 in tolls.
Yeah, you should avoid that. Yeah, nothing against those states. It's just expensive.
They tease you. They say toll $3, and then next one says toll $4.
Yeah,
and then toll $29, and you can't get off the damn thing.
Right. So, and if you've got extra axles, like you're towing a race car trailer,
oh yeah,
it gets even more expensive.
Yeah, because they do say that.
Oh yeah,
bigger vehicles may be charged more.
Yes, maybe charged more. They don't tell you. They should say bigger vehicles are charged more.
Yeah. And then Google says, take the upper ramp on the George Washington Bridge. So I did.
And that's the express fee ramp?
I don't know. It said take the upper bridge. So I took the upper bridge, and guess what? It came to a stop.
Oh, yeah.
All the people on the lower ones are just
zoom. Yeah, there's no.
And then it was like that all the way up to Connecticut. It was my. It did not stop. Sorry, the traffic did not open up to over 45 miles an hour, and 40 miles an hour until I got to my turn.
Right. Had you taken the lower level, that level would have stopped.
Oh yes, whatever it done.
Yeah,
it sucked.
Yeah,
it was the worst. And then I decided to go the other way on the way home. Did awesome up until we hit Maryland and 80 and. It's the 81 and 70 connector there. Yeah, it just decided to. There was a big accident there, and we sat there for 50 minutes, hour, 2 hours. I don't know. It was forever.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and yeah. Let's see what else is new. Let me think. I didn't have time to prepare. When I tell you we've been working, all of us have
Yeah.
been, it's crazy. I bet you Chelsea's working right now listening to us.
Yeah.
Maybe not. But yeah, it's been crazy. We're getting things together, and what else are we doing?
Yeah.
Oh, we're planning next year too.
Cool.
So we've had some new tracks that we're looking at.
Locking some dates in.
And
Locking some dates in, hopefully.
Yep. And
So when do you
getting those
guys
done up.
release the tentative schedule or the first draft of the schedules
I
so
think
that
we're
all of
going to
us can
change
see
it until February.
You're not going to release the schedule till February?
No, I'm kidding.
I'm like,
Just trying to get the
we've
internet all
just
wound
did
up.
you do, I need a breaking news. I need a breaking news button.
I don't
out there.
know. At first, we have to get it ready. I mean, it's we there's a lot to do on that. And
No, I was just what's the normal
there's
target?
a lot of
though?
tracks that are
Is it like November?
September, November, depends.
Okay, I'm just curious.
You know, there's a lot of work left to be done on it.
Chelsea's
We've got,
like, Brian,
like I said, we've got a couple tracks. We're trying to move some things around a little bit just to move some races apart. We think that some races are interfering with other races.
Mhm.
So basically, we want to make it so that all the races come out, come out even on, we don't want losses.
Right. Well, of course.
So, yeah.
Does it make sense? You guys raced pretty quickly after VIR. Do you find that race is typically a lower subscribed race because people are recovering from VIR, or are there a whole bunch of people that didn't do VIR who are ready to go racing somewhere else right after?
That.
Okay.
Yeah, it's we went straight to Gingerman.
Right.
And it was a big field for us. So
Nice.
yeah, it was pretty cool. And then this past weekend was insane. It was like we'd never had that many cars at Thompson before, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think Thompson has put itself in a position of where a lot of drivers love it and they proselytize about it. And then when there's an opportunity to go, because you only go once a year, right, to Thompson?
Right.
Yeah. So when you get that one opportunity and you hear everybody talk about how great it was last year, people want to be, fear of missing out, FOMO.
Oh yeah.
You know. So
I think
look at how hip I am. I just blasted
just
a
said
FOMO. I know.
I think that we were talking about maybe, talking to what do you call it? New Hampshire Motor Speedway. We've done racing up there before.
Yeah.
I don't know if ChampCar has, but I know I did it with Lemons because that's the place I hit a boat.
You
And
hit a boat.
I hit a boat.
Yeah, you wouldn't have done that. Well, but was it a Crown Vic? Because
No, it was a boat
on
a racetrack.
Camp referred to his drive as a boat.
It looked like a Gilligan's Island boat.
So Timothy just actually multi-crazy car. I don't know who that is. So you didn't use Google Maps to try to get around New York City, did you?
No, I don't go through New York City. I just went on the highway.
No,
95.
No, but I mean, did you use Waze or do you use
No,
Google
I don't
Maps?
use Waze.
Oh, dude, that's your problem.
People keep telling me to use Waze. I use Google.
Well, then you got nothing to blame yourself
Same
for.
company. It's the same company.
No, it's not. It may be the same company, but the Google doesn't use the traffic. Doesn't have the traffic algorithms.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Mine
not
does.
as good as the Waze does.
Oh, yeah, because it said I was parked and it was all red, so I figured it must be right.
Yeah,
because I'm parked.
But Waze might have taken you somewhere else.
Probably, but it did. Google tried to take me somewhere, but I'd already passed the turn by the time it said, "Hey, we found a better route." And I was blocked in by semi trucks, and I'm just in my Toyota MR2 Spider. So, and then the belt went pap, 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 pap,
what was
on
that?
me? The fan belt. No, it's not a fan belt. Serpentine belt. Decided to let loose.
I was
after
more
only
interested in the sound
miles.
effect. Pap, 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 pap. Nice.
Yeah. So I've never had one break on me like that ever. I've had a cam belt break, but never serpentine belts because usually I replace them. But 60,000 miles, whatever.
Yeah.
But this one only lasted 30. So I think I'm going to have to look at water pumps and pulleys and stuff like that on my car.
Yeah.
So
You should. So I did a brake job on the car to get ready
to the highway
to go. No, I did it in the garage. And because I'm getting ready to go for my thing, and I'm driving home yesterday from work, and I make a right-hand turn, and I start hearing this. Like, what did I do wrong? And then I turned down the radio and made another right hand. And I'm like,
Put the brakes on backwards.
no, thank God,
Pads.
no. Pads are put on properly. But I have those. They're like, the thing you use to close the bread bag,
Oh yeah.
the twist ties. So I have a Mongo twist tie for holding up the caliper.
Oh.
And I got the twist tie because it was left on my car from another shop who did a brake job
Yeah.
on my car. And guess what I found? I forgot to do the same thing. It was still attached to the coilover. And thankfully it didn't get wrapped up into anything and cause any issues.
Right. Yeah, I just use hangers. I just have hangers that hang up there.
So yeah, but I was like, oh, I know what I did wrong. And fished it out last night. Everything's good now.
So speaking of racetracks, though, Fred from Nelson Ledges has been on here. Talked to him last week, and we'd love to get another race at Nelson Ledges, but we're going to need like 30 plus cars. So can we find 30 plus cars out there, internet people?
Would this be for next year?
Yeah.
Okay.
2024. So if you can find me 30 plus cars that are guaranteed to go, that'll prepay. Let's go.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be
of course,
one.
we still have to go negotiate with the track.
Right. Right. But
Bill Strong said.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So we do the same thing for Willow or Button Willow or something out here? Because I'd love to see you guys come back out here.
We talked about Willow Springs. Don't know yet.
Okay. I'm hearing rumors that they're going to repave it.
What's wrong with it now?
Oh, it's awful.
I was there. It's not bad. I mean, I've been on worse tracks.
It's better on big cars like ChampCar. But there were some Formula cars swallowing sized potholes.
Yeah.
And which was harder.
I just wish they put the tires back in the ground on the corners.
Yeah, I think there's an insurance company who would like them not to do that. Yeah, that's...
Okay, we got John Whitnauer said he's number 1 for Nelson Ledges.
Yeah.
I'll bet you Tim would go.
Yeah, I bet you. Yeah. Because he's up
there's
there.
A few people on it. Yeah, there's a
Turtle's
few
up
people
there in Michigan, right, Tim? You're up in Michigan, right?
Wisconsin.
Oh, is he Wisconsin?
Sheboygan.
I should have remembered that. Well, he's going to see me next year when I go up to when I go to the runoffs next year. So
we won't be running Dominion Raceway until they get that bridge fixed, and there's just too many issues. I mean, you can see the rollovers all the time on the internet.
Yeah,
there's just too many issues at Dominion. It's not a road race friendly track for wheel to wheel. So even the SCCA and NASA has kind of said no to that one.
Yeah,
but if they change, we'll look at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
All right, Bill.
Is it time to go already?
Well, I mean, we can ramble
I've been
for
home
another
all day.
7 minutes.
I never get to talk to anybody. My wife won't talk to me right now because I don't know what I did.
What did you do, Bill?
Well,
you know exactly what you did. Don't give me that.
I got the front yard mowed, and then I ran out of fuel and just left the mower in the yard because it's like I got to go to a phone call now.
I've never done anything like that before.
I've got a lot of land, So
yeah,
takes a lot.
Okay.
So of course, my mother-in-law can't get out of her house now because the grass is so tall. I've been away for a long time, man.
That's one way to keep the mother-in-law from coming over for dinner.
She might be listening.
She might be.
All right, guys.
All right.
And get signed up from races. We had like 5 or 6 spots left open for Mid-Ohio. That will sell out at 65 cars. We have another race coming up, Harris Hill, Texas. It's a great little track to run on. You will love it. The food there is great. The racing is great. The paddock is awesome because it's a little different than what we normally do for pit lane. It's just a fun track. The people are awesome there. Come on out and race that track. If you've ever thought of doing it, please do it. We've got another race after that coming up. Sign up for them. I know you guys are waiting to see if your car makes it through a race, but you can put $250 down, hold your place in line, and you'll get in. We got Pittsburgh International Raceway coming up right after that. That's coming up on 50 cars. We do have a limit of cars at that one too. So if you're on the what do you call that? On the fence.
On the fence.
Get signed up. And then of course, Road America, we have 6 miles of pit lane there, so we have plenty of room for you. We're currently at about 50 cars right now.
Wait. The track's only 4 miles long. How can you have 6 miles of pit lane?
Have you walked it before, Brian?
I have not.
And it's all uphill.
It is all uphill.
Both
That is
ways.
true. That is true.
Both ways.
Uh,
And when it does snow or rain or whatever, it comes up. It doesn't go down. It
Okay.
goes up. Ask Ray that one.
well, the key is
and
when
then-
it snows to not lift going up the hill.
Yeah. And then, of course, we have the discoveryparts.com amped up duels at Atlanta Motorsports Park. We just posted up the track day information for that. Discovery holding a track day, test day on Friday. Get signed up for that as well. And that race is doing pretty good on numbers. And then VIR coming out in December. We're at 9 cars, but that'll fill up pretty quick. That's a VIR race on the North Course. And then, of course, our Sebring New Year's. That will sell out if you want to have a party with us and have fun. There's a lot of stuff going on in Sebring New Year's Eve. Usually doesn't include old people, but because South Florida, snowbirds, that stuff.
Right.
Come on down and join us for a big to do in South Florida or mid Florida, whatever the heck Sebring is.
Central Florida.
Central Florida, yes, by Lake Okeechobee.
Mm-hmm.
I always like saying that.
Go down there,
Yeah.
get yourself some alligator for dinner.
Yep. And if you have any suggestions for our logs, please let me know. We have the race logs up, and that does document on how many wrecks we have. So when the internet says, hey, ChampCar is a crash fest, please refer back to that, and you'll see different.
All right.
But great talking with you guys tonight, and I'm going to go back to work here in just a minute.
Cool.
Back to you, Brian.
That's going to do it for another episode of Inside ChampCar. If you like what you heard, subscribe to the podcast and the YouTube channel so you won't miss any episodes. It'd also be great if you share it on your social media channels. Comment on the ChampCar Facebook page, especially if it is a good one. Have new episodes every week on YouTube Tuesday nights, on the podcast on Thursday mornings. He's Bill Strong. I'm Brian Bielanski. This is ChampCar Live on YouTube and the Racing Wire Podcast Network. Have a great week, everybody.